Sheikh Hamdan stood at the edge of the grand balcony of Zabil Palace, his eyes reflecting the golden hues of the Dubai sunset. A smile stretched across his face, not of mere contentment, but of a joy so deep it danced in his soul. The breeze played with his candor as he closed his eyes for a moment, breathing in the promise of a future he had long imagined. Today, his heart was no longer a vessel of silent yearning. It was full, ready, and resolute. He was in love, and beyond that, he was ready to declare what his heart had whispered for months. "I accept you as my future wife," he murmured, more to the sky than to anyone nearby, but every fiber of his being surged with the truth of it. From the moment he met her, he had sensed something celestial. Not merely beauty, though she was breathtaking, but a calmness, a grace, a flame that burned quietly, unbothered by the noise of the world. She wasn't dazzled by his titles nor by the weight of his name. She saw him. The man, the dreamer, the poet, the warrior, the protector. And with every encounter, she drew out parts of him the world rarely touched. Her laughter, her kindness, the way she spoke with purpose and patience, these things rooted themselves in his heart, until she became his daily thought, his nightly prayer. He had written poetry for years, filling journals with verses he never shared, but with her, his words found meaning. She was the ink that gave his thoughts clarity, the muse who inspired him to love louder, live fuller. He remembered writing her name beside the word eternity, one evening beneath the desert stars, knowing deep inside that no matter how far duty might take him, he would always return to her. Her presence gave him peace, and her absence reminded him of the ache only true love can cause. That's when he knew, this wasn't a fleeting moment. This was divine alignment. Today, he had gathered his heart's courage like soldiers before a coronation. No royal decree could carry the weight of what he was about to say. With every step he took towards her, dressed in white and gold, he wasn't the crown prince of Dubai. He was a man ready to devote himself wholly. His voice, usually firm and measured in council and ceremony, now trembled with emotion. He reached for her hands, warm and familiar, and looked into eyes that had seen him, not just the image of him the world worshipped. "I accept you," he said gently, "as my future wife. Not because it is expected, not because it would be celebrated, but because I cannot imagine life without you in it." Tears gathered in her eyes, and in that moment, time seemed to halt. All the palaces, the desert sands, the racing horses, the flags bearing his name, all faded into silence. There was only her heartbeat and his. He could feel it, like music, echoing the same rhythm as his. His mother once told him, "When you find the one, your soul will sigh in recognition." And today, his soul didn't just sigh, it rejoiced. Every prayer he ever whispered for love had led him to this moment. Every scar on his heart now felt like proof of the road he had to travel to arrive in her arms. The palace around them wasn't just stone and history anymore. It became a sacred witness to a vow that would outlive titles and generations. He pictured her walking beside him through the corridors of time, not as a princess by title but as the queen of his spirit. Together, they would carry the flame of a love that wasn't born in haste but in purpose. A love strong enough to embrace his world and gentle enough to rest in the quiet corners of their future. He imagined her voice echoing through the gardens, the sound of her laughter brightening every morning. Yes, this was home. Sheikh Hamdan felt the weight of the world lighten as he spoke. "I accept you with every joy, every trial, every celebration, and every silence. I accept your soul, not just your hand. I accept your fears, your dreams, your questions, and your faith. I vow to guard them as if they were my own. And though no crowd surrounded them, though no cameras captured the moment, it was more majestic than any royal announcement. It was real. It was raw. It was theirs. In her eyes, he saw the reflection of the life they would build, not of perfection, but of partnership. He imagined her beside him during council meetings, offering wisdom with a single look. He envisioned her comforting him after long rides through the desert. He foresaw children with her smile and her fire, growing up under the wings of love and legacy. He felt her presence already shaping him into a better man. A man who didn't just want to lead a nation but build a kingdom of compassion and truth alongside the woman he adored. And she, oh, she had been waiting, hoping, wondering. Her heart had walked quietly beside his, even in the distance, believing without forcing. She hadn't tried to win him, she had simply been herself. And that was what won him. In her silence, she spoke volumes. In her gaze, she whispered promises she hadn't even voiced. And now, hearing him speak those sacred words, tears fell, not from uncertainty, but from a peace so profound it filled her to overflowing. She had been chosen, not by a prince, but by the man behind the crown. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the palace gardens, Sheikh Hamdan brought her hand to his heart. I will walk through every storm with you. I will write you into every line of my destiny. I will cherish you as my equal, honor you as my beloved, and protect you as my greatest gift. You are not just my future wife, you are my now, my always. In that moment, it didn't matter who watched or who knew. All that mattered was that love had spoken, and it was answered. The desert winds carried his vow across the dunes, as if even nature wanted to hold this promise close. Love like this, in a world of fleeting things, was rare. And yet here it was, noble, fearless, radiant. His heart had chosen her in a world of infinite choices. And she, in all her grace and light, had chosen him in return. Together, they would write a story that defied the ordinary. A royal tale, yes, but more than that, a love letter to the stars. And with one final breath, he whispered it again, for the heavens to hear. I accept you as my future wife. She looked up at him, her lips trembling with a soft smile, as if the universe had finally answered every hidden question she carried in her soul. In his eyes, she didn't just see a future, she saw a sanctuary. The strength of his voice, the tenderness in his hands, the gravity of his words, they reached into her being and rooted her deeper into a moment she would carry forever. She could see the weight of royalty resting on his shoulders, but tonight, she saw the man beyond the crown.